Hi, this is Mr. Y. This game was played just yesterday at Britton Acres as part of the Britton Acres Championship between Collin and Keenan. Collin had the white pieces and Keenan had the black pieces, and it was an interesting game. They played e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, and we have the four knights variation. Bishop c4, bishop c5, d3, d6, bishop g5, bishop g4, and then white played h3, kicking the bishop away. Bishop d7. Incidentally, the bishop can take, and then bringing the queen out. That's about even for black, according to the computer, because we have knight d4, which hits the queen again. Queen is going to have to go somewhere. Queen goes here. Then we have knight takes c2, forking the rook and the king. So the queen pretty much has to go back home. It's kind of an interesting little thing. Usually you try to avoid developing the queen by capturing this knight here, but here it actually works out for your favor if you do. So in any case, black retreated, Keenan retreated, white played knight d5, attacking the pinned knight here. So we have h6, kicking the bishop away or forcing a take. Collin went ahead and took, and then we have g takes. So the result is that we have this opened up kingside here, making castling particularly unattractive for black. Collin plays a3. We have rook g8, attacking this pawn down here. Collin protected the pawn simply by pushing it forward 2 squares. It turns out he could have protected it simply tactically by attacking this pawn here with the queen. Now, if the rook takes, we take back. We have perhaps bishop e6, which is a logical move, and then knight takes f6 check. Black is in serious trouble. But instead of protecting it tactically, Collin simply pushed the pawn, which is fine. Bishop e6, b4, bishop d4, knight takes d4, e takes d4, bishop b5, pinning the knight to the king. Let's go back. Perhaps at this point, queen d2 again, hitting this pawn would have been better. Because I don't know that this actually accomplishes anything. Best move here is a6, which I think is what Keenan played. Keenan played a6. Now we have to decide. Okay, so he chops wood. B takes. Knight f4. Bishop d7. Queen f3. Collin is starting to attack this pawn. We have c5, trying to get some play on the queen side. You'll note here that Keenan has 2 sets of double pawns. It's an interesting pawn chain that we have here. Knight d5, jumping into the middle of the pawn chain. Rook g6, protecting the pawn. Protecting both of these pawns, actually. Rook g1, h5. G takes h, and that is the key mistake of the game here, right? Because that pawn was pinned. So now the rook comes down. King went here, skewering the other rook. Now black is up 2 rooks, and the game is effectively over. But Collin, being Collin, fights on. Knight takes f6 check. King f8. h6, pushing, hoping for something. Notably controlling this square right here, which if he can manage to get his queen there, then it could easily be checkmate, depending on where the king is. Anyway, it's a very strong move. And here Keenan makes a key mistake. Best move is probably rook g1, which just takes control back of this file. Instead, Keenan played rook takes a3, which takes the rook out of play. Now see if you can find what the right move is that Collin found. Go ahead and pause your video if you need to, and see if you can find the right move. Did you find this? If you did, congratulations, because now you've achieved a draw even though you're down 2 rooks. Look at that. So now king went to e7, and we have queen f6 check. There's really only one move for the king, and we have check. The king goes back, and we have check. King goes back, and we have check, and that is a draw. But with this move, suddenly the game is lost, but Collin manages to find a draw. All right, interesting game. Good game to both of you. Go play chess.